while it may be okay to be focusing on an exercise here or there with bad SFR, when it's important for you for strength training or maybe some sort of sports, that can be okay if you are doing a low enough volume and making sure you're not doing anything else to accumulate any other fatigue. However, when you are doing a higher volume of work and you are focusing more on hypertrophy and endurance training, that is when it becomes really important for you to be cutting out any exercises with bad SFR, because at that point they are what we call junk volume. All right, volume of exercises that are doing more harm than good are just junk that you need to cut. Even if it's an exercise you really enjoy doing or you love it for some reason. There's this saying in the artistic community, and this is another time where art comes in here along with the science. There's this saying in the artistic community, when you are trying to be a professional artist and do that professional level work, that you have to quote unquote cut your babies, which means that there are going to at times be things that are very important to you because they have a special place in your mind or in your heart or whatever. They're special to you for some reason. You love them. You love these things, and that makes it hard for you to let go of them, even though they may actually be hurting you more than they're helping you. They may be doing more harm than good. They may actually not have a good place in this project. They may be special to you and have some sort of personal value to you, but they actually have no objective overall value in the big picture. They're not really benefiting you and not going to help you to be more successful. Okay, so it may feel nice and special to you to have them be a part of your thing, but in the end, there's just no reason to keep them on. If you were to perform a cost analysis, or a risk-reward analysis, you'd find that they're doing you more harm than good. Okay, so that poor risk-to-reward ratio is very similar to the SFR here. If you consider this value to be the amount of reward and this value to be the amount of risk, that is the same type of cost-benefit analysis as an SFR with the formula I just taught you, right? And as an artist, when you're doing professional work, you've got to cut your babies, things that you love that actually, are giving you more risk than reward, or are costing you more than they're going to benefit you, and really may only be special to you for some emotional reason that is not producing a real world benefit. You have to go with facts over feelings, right? You're not doing this just because it makes you feel good. You're doing this because you want to have some sort of benefits that result in some sort of success. So that is why it is important to evaluate these exercises in real world practical terms, where we put a concrete numeric value on them and realize you're not just doing these exercises because they make you feel good. You're not just doing these exercises because you have some sort of emotional attachment to them, because they make you feel alpha, they make you feel hardcore, they make you feel like a badass, right? They give you a big endorphin rush. Lifting a heavy weight gives you a huge endorphin rush. It makes you feel hardcore. It makes you feel like a superhero. That's great, except that's not why you're working out. That shouldn't be why you're working out. That's like, a drug addict making an excuse for them using drugs when what they're supposed to be doing is, acting as a pharmacist, right? If you want to be a professional athlete, you're not working out to make yourself feel good psychologically, all right? So you have to cut your babies. Anything with a poor SFR is junk volume because it does not pass the cost-benefit analysis of this SFR formula that I have taught you, all right? And this junk volume is going to cause you more harm than good. So anytime you're doing higher volume hypertrophy or endurance training, you have got to cut your babies. If there are exercises that you really love the feeling of, but it turns out they have a poor SFR, you've got to be dispassionate about this. All right? I know that passions are one of the things that keep us going in hypertrophy training and endurance training, but you've got to be able to cut your babies dispassionately. Even if there's an exercise you love, you may love lifting heavy on a certain exercise because of that endorphin rush. You may love the way a certain exercise feels, like doing curls, doing lots of curls. It's something I talk about a lot. But that might just be junk volume that is causing you to have a poor overall workout. Okay, you may not need strength. You may not need to do heavy lifting. And doing it for that endorphin rush is not good because it then leaves you destroyed for the rest of the day and, the next morning. And you may love the feeling of doing lots of curls because it gives you a great pump. And it feels like it's doing good work, but the bicep is actually a small muscle that also gets worked out on a lot of other pulls. And so some of these curls that you may really enjoy the feeling of doing may actually be junk volume that are causing more harm than good. So that is why anytime you feel as though an exercise might not be working as good as you think it ought to, it is so important to do this cost-benefit analysis by using the SFR formula that I have taught you. And anything that does not pass the test by having more fatigue than stimulus, or a greater than 1 value, needs to be cut. You need to mercilessly cut your babies, and you're going to have to cut exercises that you really like or even love at certain times because they are just not worth it anymore. They are causing more withdrawals to your account than they are pluses. They are killing your gains and thus aren't worth keeping.